Why can't I stop eating once I start? Why do I think about food all the time? Why, despite truly wanting to get to my goals, do I keep sabotaging myself? If you have been searching for the answers to these questions, I'm going to give you the answer right now, clear as day, so you finally know why. And you know what? It has nothing to do with food addiction, and it's not because you're a sugar addict, and it has zero to do with lack of coping skills, and it has nothing to do with past trauma, and it's not because of your emotions, and it's not because of your stress, and it's not because you have a hormonal imbalance, and it's not because you haven't sought your spiritual enlightenment hard enough, and it's not because of your depression, and it's not because of your anxiety, and it's not because you don't have enough education, or that you just don't feel bad enough yet, and it has nothing to do with having the right exercise plan or the right diet or knowing more about nutrition or having some nutritional imbalance. It's not because you don't have enough motivation, and it has zero to do with willpower. And it's so important to know all the reasons that have nothing to do with this struggle with food, because we have clients that have literally wasted decades on trying to fix one of these things in hope to fix their problem with food, and it was never going to work anyway. We've had clients who have gone to 25 years of therapy, that have gone to treatment centers, that have completely changed the way that they eat and move their bodies over and over and over, that have hired nutritionists, that have become nutritionists, because they thought, well, if I could just fix one of these things, if I could have the coping mechanisms or deal with my emotions, then my food issue would go away. And you know what the most horrible thing is? To spend 25 years of your life absolutely conquering one of those and having your food issues worse than ever. And now you're starting over at square one. So you've got to know the exact reason why this is happening so that you can fix it. This is why you feel out of control with food. It's called the binge restrict cycle. The binging teaches your body to then restrict, and then the restricting teaches your body to binge. And this goes round and round and round in a cycle, and that's why it gets harder and harder to break and consumes more and more of your life and your thoughts. So how do you break a cycle, right? You've got to stop one part of this cycle. Well, you could stop binging, but if you knew how to do that, you would have done it a long time ago. Well, here's the other thing you could do. You could stop the restricting, and people certainly try that. What happens if you stop the restricting and the binging continues? We have seen people have horrible health crises because of that. I mean, we've seen people gain 50 pounds in just a matter of months, and they come to us in a panic because in trying to break this cycle and stopping the restricting, the binging is literally destroying their life and their health. And here's what makes it even harder to fix. What happens when you're in a cycle and it happens over and over again? It turns into a habit. And once it's a habit, then you create urges to binge and urges to restrict over and over in the cycle. So it perpetuates it even more. So now, after a binge, you have the urge, like a compulsion, to restrict. And then after you restrict, you have the urge, that feeling of compulsion, to binge. And it gets harder and harder to fix every single time that you go around in this cycle. This is exactly why you are out of control with food, and I'm going to show you exactly how to end it so you have permanent freedom, like we have given permanent freedom to over 1,000 women all over the world, some of them struggling for over 40 years, and now they are 100% free and will be for the rest of their lives. Here's what has to happen. You have to end the urges. You end the urges to binge and you end the urges to restrict. So now you are free from the cycle and you actually have broken the habit. That is true 100% permanent freedom. There are 5 elements that are going to show you how to end permanently the binge restrict cycle. And we have created a free masterclass that's going to walk you through all 5 of those elements.